Hello and welcome back to Everything Football. This is the second episode,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of things happened in the past week. The first game of the season, uh, for first competitive game
No,
for a trophy.
because technically League One started, but it
Yeah,
is
that's
the
true.
first
But the
competitive
first
game.
first game to win a trophy, right?
Yeah, first game for a trophy, I think, which was the
Uh,
Community Shield.
yeah, the
I
FA
mean,
Cup Community Shield, which included Arsenal versus
Liverpool,
Liverpool.
where Arsenal won
Obviously.
5-4 on pens.
Yeah, a 1-1 draw, and Arsenal won 5-4 on pens. So the FA Cup winners, they beat the Premier League winners, the Premier League champions,
Mm-hmm.
to win another trophy, which is,
Uh-huh.
I think Arteta's trophy,
Arteta's second
second trophy
trophy in
in
29 games.
29 days or games.
Games. S-
Okay,
So
so
yeah.
are you sure Arteta's played 29 games?
Yeah, he's managed 29 games in all comps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Arteta's second trophy in 29 days. So that's a pretty good
Games.
start, isn't it?
It is a good start. So sick start. I mean, well, let's talk about the game first, because
Okay.
the game was well. Let's talk about the stats. The stats. Apparently they didn't even get their first shot on target until the 70th minute, which is a crazy stat. And so
uh,
the game stats were 8 shots for Arsenal, 15 shots for Liverpool, 2 shots for Arsenal, 2 shots on target for Arsenal, 4 shots on target for Liverpool, and then 40% possession for Arsenal, 60% possession for Liverpool. And I think the expected goals were around 1 for Arsenal and around 2 for Liverpool. So
mm.
Liverpool missed chances basically.
Well, let's talk about the first goal. So, it was a beautiful goal. It
Good
started
play.
off with the goalkeeper. The Arsenal, they were playing out the back.
Mhm.
Uh, and it seemed that, you know, it seemed like they actually knew what they were doing. They weren't just playing out the back just for the sake of playing out the back. They
Yeah.
actually had a plan. So the goalkeeper, I think he passed it to El Neni, who then passed it to, I think, Rob Holding, who then passed it to Bellerin, and then Bellerin, he kicked the ball down the line to Saka, and
Yeah.
then Saka, he cuts inside, uh, and then crosses the ball,
He kind of
switches.
like switches it. Yeah, switches the play. Yeah.
Yeah, all the way down to the left wing where they had Aubameyang. Aubameyang picks up the ball, cuts inside, outside the box, finesse shot in the back of the net. It was a beautiful goal.
Beautiful. And you see, that's a similar goal to the one against Man City. And so you're seeing these type of goals against big teams consistently, and
Yeah,
it's such a good sign for us, especially because you see all the links we're making. It's just this game obviously is, to me it was a friendly. It wasn't really much too big of a game. If we lost,
why is it just a friendly?
okay, to me this game, because it's not really a major trophy. I mean, it's a trophy, yeah, but it's not a major trophy. It's like if we lost this, I'm like okay, cool. If we won this, it's like okay, cool, right?
But I mean, it's a a title is a
It's a
title.
trophy, so it's good to win. But if you lose it, what I mean is like if you lose it, it's okay. And you saw a lot of both teams were had rotations in. It wasn't just the starting 11 for both teams, and so and for our team we had a lot of young players in. So
But how important is it to win the FA Community Shield? Because obviously it starts very early.
hmm
Some of your players may not all be fit, but
yeah.
the impact of winning it. What is the impact?
Okay, basically when I remember Emery, I think earlier this season or last season, he said that Arsenal, the players were scared to face Liverpool, right? And you hear that as a fan, and you're like, what do you mean our players are scared to face Liverpool? That's such a loser's mentality, right? Like,
Did he actually say that?
yeah, he said that in a press conference. There was quotes coming out about it, and then this season, Arteta just said after the game that there was no fear in the dressing room and stuff like that. And just shows the impact of Arteta. Because if Unai Emery was in charge, we wouldn't be in Europe right now.
And how important is the mental aspect of getting a team uh, back in the mentality to win games and win these kind of games?
It's good. I'm so gassed for the beginning of next season. To be honest, it just
What expectations do you have?
it depends on the transfer window. To be honest, because if it's a sick transfer window where we get Awar, we get Partey, we officially announce Gabriel and Oba's new contract, then I think we can get top four. Because I don't think Man U will get Sancho. To be honest, I
Uh,
Chelsea. See, the way I'm looking at it right now, I think Man City or Liverpool, depending on what happens, will get first and second, and Chelsea will get third. I think those three are like rearrange them however you want. Those three are basically confirmed. I don't think anyone's going past them. Maybe Chelsea will drop down just because of in terms of they're getting so many first team players they need them to glue together. But I don't know. I feel like Chelsea should get third. Realistically, Chelsea
I
should
mean,
get
but
top three.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, because it's hard to sign half a new team and expect them to, just start clicking right away.
I mean, we'll see what happens, but just by signings alone, how much money they've spent, they should
Mm,
be getting top three, and they already have so many good players in their team.
yeah, I mean,
I
uh,
wouldn't
I
be.
mean, Roman Abramovich, he has backed Lampard, so now it's on Lampard to do the job.
Yeah, I think Lampard's a good manager. I don't. I think he's. Yeah, I think he's a good manager. I don't think he's a bad manager. So
Yeah,
I
let's
think
see how he does.
yeah, definitely, because I don't know how he's gonna fit all these offensive players into one system, but we'll see. I'm
Okay,
assuming a double pivot, but we'll see.
one last question regarding Arsenal. Um,
Yeah.
if Arsenal go trophyless next season, but they finish fifth, would you be happy with that?
No, no. If
No?
it's because I don't think I got to answer like the last question probably, but I'm expecting top four. Realistically, like
What?
if we're making the signings that we're rumored to be making, that pretty like if we're signing Partey and we're signing our I'm expecting top four, especially because Man U, besides their starting 11, they don't have any depth. So over 38 games, eventually they'll have a down period where
Uh,
they'll
okay. Pretend Manu, they are gonna sign Sancho, and they have already signed Van de Beek. So that's Sancho and Van de Beek. They
Sancho
could
and Van
sign
de Beek still their
they
defense.
they could sign another center back and they could sign another midfielder. But
I think
assuming that Manchester United they do good business, how will that affect Arsenal trying to get into the top four?
I still think that I still think that Oli is probably the worst manager out of the three. If you're talking about Lampard, Arteta, Oli, I think
Mm,
he's the worst. For being real,
okay.
I think he's had the best squad out of the three, and for both seasons. So I think um realistically, I think that they will drop out of top four. I just think
Okay.
over 38 games, they always have these amazing periods where they're playing brilliant, like they were to at the beginning of when we just got back,
Yeah.
and then at the end you saw what happens after a while. They just
Yeah.
eventually die out. They
I mean
eventually,
that happened because they had no depth and they had to
but
use the same starting
the
11.
thing is though, it's like Fred isn't a bad player.
Hmm.
Fred is not a bad player. Juan Mata is not a bad player. These players are all right. It's not like you can start these guys sometimes. It just
Hmm.
he just doesn't have faith in his bench, and that's up to him, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, these players aren't bad,
Yeah.
right? I
Okay.
think so. I think I just don't think he has the he's. a good manager, and I think Arteta over 38 games, you see, especially with the confidence from winning the FA Cup, from winning this Community Shield too. I feel like if we make the signings we need to, especially in midfield, I think we can get top four.
Okay, cool. Speaking of signing depth and squad players, uh, we're gonna do a new section, a new
New
game.
segment.
Yeah, new segment. It's gonna be called Rate or Hate. So,
Okay.
do you want to explain the segment?
So basically, obviously it's a transfer window, so a bunch of transfers, a bunch of transfer rumors, etc. So basically, what we're doing is we're just listing off different rumors, listing off different either confirmed deals or rumor deals that are like strongly rumored by credible sources, and
Yeah, or
we'll
they could
rate them
be
out.
official.
Yeah, and we'll rate them out of five. See, and we'll talk about how good they are for the club.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
five would be excellent. One would be horrible,
trash. Yeah,
and then two is bad. Three is not bad, not good.
it's like
Just whatever.
average. Yeah, it's like
And then
whatever.
four is good, decent.
Yeah, and it's for the
Uh,
club, not for the player, or it's for the club receiving the player, not for the club
yeah.
selling it. Yeah,
But you could also talk about the player and the club, other club who's selling. But the main thing is the club who received the player.
yeah, because that's
Okay,
where it matters most. Yeah,
so the first guy we have here is
Van de Beek.
Van de Beek for 40 million.
I think, I think, I, I don't know. I'd say a three or a four. I'd say a four. I'd say a four because he's a good player. He's he's not gonna go into the starting lineup. He is gonna be depth, and hopefully Ollie trusts him, right? So that helps in midfield, especially because he can play an 8 or a 10. He could play
Yeah,
box to box. He can play advanced. He can. He's he can. He has He's versatile. He's versatile, so
yeah,
that helps them a lot, right? So he can take Pogba's place. He can take Bruno's place. He could even take Matic's place. Obviously not recommended, but he could,
yeah.
right?
I think his best position would be mainly at 10. So,
Yeah, so I think he would mainly be able to start at Bruno's position, but if not, then Paul Pogba's position. But it's I think it's a good signing. Yeah, I think it's a good price.
mhm.
The only thing I think that's slightly fraudulent is he played in the Eredivisie, so I don't know how he'll adapt in the Prem and how good he will be in the Prem. But
I would say he's a 5.
I
I
don't
would
know,
say
cause a
5.
five,
I
I
think
feel like a five
I think
always.
I think it's an excellent signing
I feel like a
because
five for me always has to be like a starting 11 player. I feel like a five. If you're a five, it's like you're just signing him for a a pretty. Okay, let's not even talk about prices. You're just signing him, and he goes right into your starting 11 and makes you a lot stronger.
well, not necessarily. It's about value of the player. How valuable can he be, depending on the price. Uh,
Okay,
you know,
true.
it's
I
not
don't.
just about because you can sign Mbappe for like 500 million. Does that mean it's an excellent signing?
Okay, yeah,
No.
you're right. You're not. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'll take that. I'll take that. L.
Yeah, so I would say it's a 5. I think it's an excellent signing. One, because he's 23 years old, so he's very young
Yeah,
and
he is
has a
young. He
lot
is
of
young.
time to grow and develop. And secondly, he automatically improves their squad depth because now that they have Van de Beek, Van de Beek is automatically their best player on the bench.
I think
You know,
Fred is a good
he's
player.
but hear me out. He's better than Lingard. He's better than Pereira. He's better than Mata.
Yeah,
All those three dead players are what Manchester United have had to rely on uh in the past few games in the past season, and we saw that in the Europa League that if you're bringing on these kind of players, and we also saw in the Premier League, you know, Ollie, he doesn't trust these players to come off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he uses the same starting XI almost every game.
XI.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so the next player is Doherty for 15 million.
To Spurs, 5.
Yeah, five.
Yeah, 6, I think.
Why? Why is a five?
Cause, cause Aurier is trash, and I think he's much better offensively anyway. He's cheap. First of all, 15 mil is cheap for a prem proven player. He's cheap.
Mm,
The only thing, actually, maybe I'd rank him down to a 4. Because the only thing is that he's always played as a wing back, so he's never
mm,
actually played as a fullback in a 4.
yeah.
And so I don't know how good he is defensively. Because
Mm.
I know he's good offensively, but I don't know, and I know he's better than Aurier offensively, but I don't know how good he is defensively.
Is he an improvement to Aurier defensively?
I have no idea. Not
No
gonna lie,
idea.
no idea. I
Okay,
can't even recall him defending.
okay.
But I think
So
so. I think so. Because how bad can you get? How can you be worse than Aurier at defending? So just I
yeah,
think
right back has been an issue for them.
I think this is a
Uh,
good signing. And Jose Mourinho, but that guy's like a legend at defense. So you know what I mean. So
I
I
think
think, and
Spurs.
normally even Jose Mourinho has a very offensive fullback and then a very defensive fullback. That's what he's always done for a while, from what I remember. So I
Okay,
think Davies obviously is more conservative, more of a defensive fullback, and then you have Doherty, who's a more offensive fullback. I think it could work.
okay. I thought you were talking about Alfonso there for a second, but never mind.
Nah,
Uh,
Ben.
I was gonna say, Spurs have, and I don't think Spurs have ever been able to replace Kyle Walker ever since he left.
Yeah,
So Doherty, he could be that
but
guy for them.
good signing
So
for
you're
cheap.
gonna say a four.
I'll say a 4.5.
Okay, 4.5. I can agree with that. I have no issues with that.
Yeah, just because
Uh,
it's a question mark about defense.
yeah. Uh, and the next person we have is James Rodriguez to Everton, 25 million. I believe it might be an option to buy. Uh,
Yeah, I
and a
think so.
loan
I
at
mean,
first.
there's so
But
many
either way, what are your thoughts?
there's so many different rumors about that, but crazy. It's crazy. But Everton are always that team that spend so much, buy all these random players and then flop. So I don't know. And apparently he's gonna play right mid for them because right now they're set up in a 4-4-2. So
Okay,
apparently he's gonna play right mid for them. I don't know how he'll work as a right mid. So
it's interesting.
I feel like the name is actually better than the player. You know, if I'm
Yeah,
being real, like cause I don't know how he'll set up at Everton, but I feel like the name James Rodriguez to Everton, that's
yeah.
just so, you know what I mean, right?
But one thing I will say is that since Everton have Carlo Ancelotti as manager, who
Yeah.
is the same manager
Who bought
that
him?
managed Real Madrid in the 2014-15 season, and
Yeah.
he actually used him a lot. Like I remember James Rodriguez, he used to play regularly under him in
Yeah,
that season.
I do remember.
Obviously, they went trophyless that season. Ancelotti got sacked, and then Zidane came in, and he didn't really use James Rodriguez
Yeah.
that much.
Mhm.
Uh, so I think maybe Carlo Ancelotti can get the best out of him. I think he
Mhm.
is a fan of him, so maybe he does know what's right for him. So that's why I'm saying it does make sense in that way, and it could work.
But I don't know. That's what I'm saying though. Right now, how they're set up is a 4-4-2. That
Mm.
I'm gonna take in how they play in a 4-4-2. I don't know whether if he's gonna play on the right mid. I've never seen him play right mid, so I don't know how he's gonna work. So I'll just say it's a
Is
bang average. I think it's 3 to be honest, because I don't
Does
know.
he improve the team?
I don't know, because I don't know. I haven't seen him play, so I can't even tell you. I don't even know
Okay,
the last time he's played. If I'm being
okay.
real, like consistently. So I don't
I
know.
mean, it is just a loan for now.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think it's just such an exciting name. Everyone's just so gassed about it, but I don't know if it's actual good signing or not.
I mean, they're not spending a lot of money, so it can't be, a terrible signing.
Well, we'll
Uh,
see. We'll see what happens. I think I just
so
say
you're
3
giving
right
it a
now.
three.
Yeah, bang average. I don't know.
Okay, okay, I can agree with that. Next up we have Kai Havertz to Chelsea, 100 million.
I think you'd have to give it a 5, right?
5.
I think you'd have to give it a 4 or 5. You have to. I mean, he's world class. He's a wonder kid.
Is he world class?
Okay, if he's not world class, then he's gonna become world class. I mean, he can play as a
He's a world.
10.
You can. I think you can say he's a world class talent, but I
Okay,
don't think he's world class
okay,
yet.
but you think about it. He can play as a 10. He can play as a false 9. He can play as a 9. He
He
just
could play up top.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he just gives so much versatility. He could play on the right as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
you'd play Ziyech on the right, but he could play on the right if you really wanted him to, right? And I
yeah.
just it's just such a good it's just a
Do you
good
think?
signing.
Do you think he would fit under Lampard's team?
Yeah, but I feel bad for Mason Mount, to be honest, because I feel like
Why would you feel bad?
because Mason Mount's a good player, and so he's not gonna start. There's no way. Because you can't play
Okay,
those
but
four. You can't play Pulisic, Werner, Havertz and Ziyech in the same 11 and not have a double pivot behind them,
yeah.
right? Because
I
that's
mean,
the only
you
thing that
need.
makes sense. The way I envision them playing it is a 4-2-3-1 with obviously double pivot of Conte and Kovacic, and then
Yeah,
you have.
but I don't think that team would work amazingly well in real life.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how it's gonna work.
Yeah,
I'm
but
I'm
but
I'm hoping Lampard doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just making FM signings because I don't like Chelsea, but I don't know.
okay. For me, I think I don't really feel bad for Mason Mount because this is competition. This is squad depth. This is what you need to take the team to the next level. So if Mason Mount wants to get into the team, he has to prove it, and he shouldn't be starting week in week out. Just because he's like the only option they have. You know, I think Chelsea they're spending a lot. They're getting a good, very good squad with all
Mm,
these signings they're making, and I think competition is exactly what they need for a
maybe.
hundred million. For 100 million,
That's the
I
only part, right? But I think I
yeah,
think I think if you're getting a wonder kid, you're spending 100 million.
but
If you're getting a world class talent, you're spending 100 mil.
at the same time, 100 million. I mean, they got Werner. They got Werner for about how much did they get
Yeah,
Werner
but
for? About
Werner was on the
50,
last
right?
year of his contract, so it's different. It's different levels, right? And it was the last year of his contract and slash or release clause.
Mm. But you cannot say 100 million. Yeah, that's never a bargain.
I never said it was a bargain. I just said it was a
Yeah.
good signing. That's why it's a 4. That's why I deranked it. It would be a
Okay.
5 just because of how good of a player he is, but because of the price, you'd have to
Yeah.
knock it down to a 4.
Yeah.
But technically it's 80 mil with add-ons to 100.
Mm. I
So
think I would give it a 4 as well. But he could go on to prove that it was a 5. It was an excellent sign.
yeah, cause
He could
yeah.
become that player that people think that he can be.
Yep.
Okay, so we're both giving that a 4.
Uh-huh.
Next up, Rakitic to Sevilla.
Wow, we're not
For
doing
free.
Awar?
Well, no, that's coming up. Don't worry about that.
Okay, okay.
Rakitic to Sevilla for free.
Um why not a 4?
A 4?
I mean, it's free, but you think about it, every free transfer comes with huge wages, comes with a huge sign-on fee, so it's not really free.
Rakitic, he is taking a pay cut to go there. So
Okay, but okay, then maybe it is, but even so, from what I've heard from specific Barca fans, um, uh,
yeah,
I mean, he does seem like sometimes he does seem a little bit washed up. I mean, not fully. I just feel like some games he is just he's just worse on the ball. He's slower, you know. It just
yeah. In my
he's just like
opinion,
he's a little bit
um,
washed
yeah. So in my opinion, I think Rakitic, he's been doing better, uh, in the second half of the season. I think
from
he's
COVID,
improved
right?
a lot. Yeah, he's improved a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for a team like Sevilla, I think he would be a good fit. I mean, Sevilla is a team that had him before. I think Rakitic and Sevilla, they both have a love story between them. Rakitic, I mean, that is his hometown, and I'm pretty sure him and his girlfriend or wife, I don't know,
Who
but
even
I'm
cares?
pretty sure that they both want to live there. They both want to go back. and I think he has been wanting to go back for some time. Uh,
So it's good for
so
him.
so for that, it's a good signing for him. It's good for Sevilla. Sevilla don't even have to pay a transfer fee, so I'll give it a 4.
Okay, so we both agree on a four.
Okay, so the next one is our for 50 mil to Arsenal.
Okay, see, technically, I think that 50 mil will get rejected because they want 60
Hmm.
million euros, but it, I think it's a five. Just because of our lack of creativity. I mean, the most, the person who created the most chances for us this season, obviously it's a weird stat because what counts as a chance, but let's just use this stat anyway. The most,
A pass leading to a shot, I think.
okay, well, either way. The player who created the most chances this season was Ozil for us, and Ozil, I don't think he played more than 20 games.
Okay.
So you see that, and Pepe was the second. Pepe wasn't
Yeah.
far off, but still, that's a crazy stat. Obviously, Pepe didn't play that much either compared to what you would expect from him,
Hmm.
but because of
I can get behind a 5. How old is he?
he's 22.
Yeah, so I can definitely give it. I can
22,
give it.
yeah, 22 bossed Man City's Liverpool. I mean, Man City's Liverpool, Man City's midfield bossed the Juve game. I mean, he's just. I
Yeah, I
think
can give it a 5. I don't mind that.
it's so excited. I'm so excited seeing these double players linked to Arsenal. It just, you know,
Mm. Another type of baller in the midfield is Thiago to Liverpool for 30 mil, or Manchester United, depending on who gets him. But
apparently
I
or
think I,
Arsenal.
I think he wants to go to Liverpool.
Yeah, I think
So
I think Liverpool is. I
so for
think
30 mil.
see that's a weird one because obviously everyone is like, oh my god, this guy is amazing, world class. He is world class, but
Yeah.
he's injury prone,
Mm.
and he's 29 turning to 30. And I think a lot of people. I think if you're injury prone and you come to the Prem, normally you just become 10 times more injury prone than normal.
Okay.
So that's the only problem I have with him is the how much he's out because of injuries. I don't know how much he was out this season. I think it wasn't that much, but I think over his career, let me just check this actually. I think over his career he's had a lot of injuries. Let me actually
Yeah.
check.
I mean, what I can say is that he offers something that Liverpool don't have, a creative outlet in midfield, uh, and I think that the the fact that they usually have Henderson, Wijnaldum, and who else starts for them? Keita doesn't really start. Who else was another midfielder for
Ox.
them? Ox. Ox doesn't really start. I think who else? Fabinho. Usually
Yeah.
it's Fabinho. Those midfielders other than Keita, they don't really create chances. Most of Liverpool's chance creation comes from the fullbacks.
Yeah.
So
That's yeah,
and
that's
that has harmed them because games like against Atletico where they got knocked out, they couldn't create chances from midfield. They had to rely on Trent spamming crosses all the time, and
yeah.
that's not always gonna work. So Thiago, he's press resistant. He's a great dribbler. He sees passes in between the lines, and I think he would be a fantastic signing. For me, it would definitely be a 5.
This is the thing. He's had injuries from since 09 010, 09 10. That's it's been serious. I think and
What
there's a
about in
lot
the
of
recent season?
there's a lot of injuries, and even this season he's had three injuries,
Mm.
and he's
So
missed. He's
providing,
only missed 9 games, but 9 games, that's that's still that's worrying, especially as he's getting older. He's getting older.
if
And it,
if those 9 games aren't the Champions League knockout stages, it's a 5.
I mean he did miss I think oh he was just injured actually August 23rd. Oh no, that was last year. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just
Providing he stays fit for the important games like the Champions League, uh, you know, he is gonna perform.
but he's had it's just worrying because he's had too many injuries where he's missed months, a
Mm.
month slash months. Like even his
So,
most recent injury was from the beginning of June to the end of June. June 11th to June 30th. He missed 19 days and missed 4 games. Obviously he's lucky because of COVID and stuff, but
yeah.
it's just it's these type of injuries that worries you because if he
Okay.
comes, he's gonna be on big wages. He's gonna have to adjust to the prem. It's all these various little factors that could either, you know, like, and it's not like he's getting any younger, and so I feel like he'll just get injured a lot. I feel
I
like he'll
mean,
be like a Keita.
he is in his prime years, so I would give it a 4.5.
I'd give it a 4 because I think that's the highest you can give. Even I was edging to a 3.5 because I know he's so. That's why I'm giving him a 4 because he's so good and he's world class definitely.
For
But
me,
it's just his injuries, and you can never rely on an injury prone player.
hmm,
You can never. Especially in the
yeah,
Prem, you see even Naby Keita, look at him. I didn't know how many injuries he had before, and now he's just
hmm,
injury prone.
hmm. Okay,
So,
so I mean, I'm still gonna stick with the 4.5. I think a 4 is also fair,
mm,
but it really depends on how long can you stay fit for.
yeah,
Okay. So the last topic we're gonna talk about is Messi to City. So what
this is
do
a
you
big
think of
one.
this? Yeah, what
Let
do
me
you
ask you.
so
Let me know. Let me ask you. What do you think about Messi to City? Because you know a lot more than I do.
so do you want me to rate or hate?
Just we can rate and hate later, but
Okay.
let's just talk about it first because this is a big topic. This I mean, just financially, in every aspect, this is a big deal.
Okay, so what I'm gonna say is, I think Messi's gonna leave. Uh,
Mhm.
no matter where he goes or how he goes, I think he is gonna leave. I don't think there's no turning back from this. He didn't show up to the PCR testing.
He didn't show up
Didn't
at
show up
training today.
to training. Yeah, which was this morning. And he obviously sent in the transfer request. I don't think there's any going back from this. Um, Manchester City is the most likely option, and I do think he is gonna go there. It makes the most sense
Mhm.
financially, the relations he has there,
Yeah,
and the
Sergio
team, the
Aguero.
ambition, a team that actually is competing for uh trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes the most sense. I think he will go there. It just
Mhm.
depends. Will he go there for free, or will they have to negotiate?
I think if Messi comes to the Prem,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the world's best players will want to come to the Prem. I think just financially, it helps the Prem, especially Man
The
City.
amount of viewers, the amount of pull power that he has
It's
is
just
insane.
yeah, it's just everything about everything. It just helps the Prem in every way possible.
If he goes for 150 million, uh,
Let's just
or
yeah, let's just we don't really know the numbers like that yet. So yeah.
yeah, so if he does go for like around that amount of money,
Mm.
do you think it would be a fair, good deal for them?
Yeah, cuz you see they'll make that money back so quickly. I think no
I
matter
don't
how
think all the
much
money directly from like shirt sales. I don't think it directly goes
well,
to the
either way
club.
they'll make their money back. Either way, it doesn't matter how the money works whatever, they'll make their money back no matter what
So,
happens.
how would you rate it?
It has
Or
to be it has to be a 5. No matter what happens, it has to be a 5. You're talking about
yeah,
arguably the greatest player of all time going to Manchester City where see this is the only thing. This is actually maybe I'll go down to 4. Only reason why is cuz he's 33 and that's still a big thing.
I mean, he's 33, but
I
he
know
won
I
the
know
Ballon
he's
d'Or like a few months ago.
I know he's the greatest player arguably of all time and he's it doesn't matter what age he is, but how many years do you think he has left in him, realistically?
World class years?
Yeah.
4 or 5.
See, because I would say 3. I'd say
Because
maybe even 2. Maybe even 2 or 3.
even if his pace slows down, you know he's still gonna have that ability, that natural ability. Passing the ball. He doesn't have to dribble. If he's not the best dribbler in the world, he's the best passer in the world. If he's not the best goal scorer in the world, he's the best playmaker in the world. So I think he can easily adapt. I don't think it's a
It's
problem.
just I feel like I don't know. I just feel like, and even remember he's still gonna have to adapt a little bit to the prem. I know everyone's
Obviously, obviously.
yeah. So that's gonna it's just, and it's the wages, the insane amount of wages that maybe long term might be how do I say this
Harming to the club? I don't know.
harming to the club. Yeah, I feel like I don't know.
But they
I
can
mean,
afford it.
I think this is I think okay. In my eyes, I feel like this is a 5 for Messi because Messi's
Yeah,
going from right now, which is a bad team and a bad club, and just in the state they're in,
yeah,
to a good team in a very good state,
yeah,
right? In terms of where they are, in terms of Europe and how good their team is.
yeah,
In terms of Man City, I think maybe it's a 4.5 because there is a little bit of risks because he's
yeah.
also never had to play this many games before, back to back. So
Yeah, but
there's
they
just
they have a lot of depth, so I don't think he's gonna have to play
well,
so much.
probably, but it's just you know what I mean, right? It's just
Yeah,
little things. You never know what could go wrong. So I'm gonna give
yeah.
it 4.5 just because of the amount of money it is.
I'm gonna give it a five because he's.
But for Barcelona, I'd give it a 5.
I think
For
for Man City, I'm gonna give it a five because I think he's probably 10 times the size of their club, so I think they should be lucky that he's willing to come. So I'm
see,
gonna give it a five.
anyway, I think
Yeah,
that's it.
next time.
Yeah. Alright, peace.